It's been over a decade since the last Elder Scrolls game, and I think it's about time for another one. Today, we will discuss everything that we know as of now, including the suspected release date, the title, and so much more. Now, without any further ado, let's jump straight in. On December 1st of 2020, the Elder Scrolls official Twitter account posted this photo. As you can see, there are two candles placed upon the map, one on top of Skyrim, where, as we all know, Elder Scrolls V took place, and the other on top of Hammerfell. Now, there are a lot of things that this could mean. However, what leads me to think that Hammerfell is where the next Elder Scrolls will take place is simply due to the caption that reads, "Transcribe the past and map the future." This would be incredibly exciting because Hammerfell is a vast region covered in deserts, jungles, and so much more. In fact, it is extremely distinguishable on behalf of how diverse it is when it comes to biomes. As many of us know, Hammerfell is the home of the Red Guards, who are listed as the most daunting and unrelenting warriors in all of Tamriel. On top of that, they are one of the races least interacted with in the game Skyrim, so that could quench a lot of what was to be desired from the previous game. Also, in the official announcement teaser from over 4 years ago, we see intense mountain ranges and an abundance of bays. Now, of course, neither of those things are exclusive to Hammerfell, but it's something to think about. Now, when in the timeline of the Elder Scrolls universe will this take place? It is rumored across multiple sources that this will be set in the 4th era, which is right after the events of Skyrim. But this, along many other things, is yet to be confirmed. Looking back to November of 2022, Todd Howard, the executive producer at Bethesda, appeared on the Lex Fridman podcast where he disclosed a lot of interesting information. This includes when he mentioned that the Elder Scrolls 6 is in a playable state right now. Now, before you get too excited, that does not mean that anyone in the public will be able to try it, but it does tell us a lot about the current progress of the development. Anyways, when will this be released? According to Tom's Guide, it is expected to come around 2024. However, other sources such as the International Business Times UK say that 2026 is the earliest we will get this. Truth be told, we really don't know much, unfortunately. To put into account what I mentioned earlier, we got the teaser over 4 years ago, and this is by far the largest gap of time between any two Elder Scrolls games. There is a major plus side to that though. Lord Howard stated that the difference in graphics between Elder Scrolls V and Elder Scrolls 6 is also the largest gap between any other two Elder Scrolls games. All I can say is that once this comes out, don't expect to see me outside my room for at least 2 months. And I won't be alone with that. By then we would have been waiting for almost 2 decades, so. What could the game be about? There are a lot of different theories on this. Many say it could be about the Thalmor taking over the Imperial Legion. I think it could be about the return of the Aldmeri Dominion. This is due to the following quote that I found on the Elder Scrolls fandom page on the subtopic of Hammerfell in the 4th era. Having been fought to a standstill by the Red Guards, the Aldmeri Dominion completely withdraws from Hammerfell. Also, through the cooperation between the Forebears and Crowns, the civil war in Hammerfell ends. Despite the signing of the Treaty of Stros Mackay, Kamatu claims that the resistance against the Aldmeri Dominion is alive and well in Hammerfell. End quote. For those of you not aware who Kamatu is, we actually deal with him in Skyrim during the In My Time of Need questline. With all that being said, we still unfortunately do not know what the game will really be about yet. One of the reasons why the Elder Scrolls V Skyrim is so alive to this day is due to the modding community. In fact, it is the #1 most modded game in the entire world. Bethesda, of course, is super smart and has recognized this, and they have come out to say that they are making the Elder Scrolls 6 with modding in mind, leaving room for much to be excited for. This also means that the longevity of Elder Scrolls 6 could potentially rival that of Skyrim's. Todd Howard has mentioned that he intends the game to be able to stay alive for 20 years. That is both awesome to hear and a little concerning, because I don't think that we want to wait 20 years to get Elder Scrolls 7. A few years ago, people found something incredible, or so they thought. ZeniMax Media confidentially filed for a trademark on the title Redfall in 2018. This got everybody considering it as the potential title for the next Elder Scrolls game. However, contrary to many articles on the internet, this has been debunked. Turns out the trademarking was in preparation for a game released early May of 2023 called Redfall, of course, an FPS game developed by Arcane Austin and, as expected, published by the one and only Bethesda Softworks. Unfortunately, this game has nothing to do with the Elder Scrolls universe and received very mixed reviews and low attention. While we're on the topic of alternate Bethesda games, I must mention Starfield. If you have yet to hear about it, it has been described by the developers as Skyrim in space, which sounds pretty cool, but I think I'm speaking for the majority of us when I say that, selfishly, I kind of wish Bethesda only focused on Elder Scrolls 6, for now at least. Moving forth, I have some super tragic news. If you are a PlayStation user, please consider this a trigger warning. Naivety to the following might just be in your best best interest unless you're down for another 10 years of Skyrim playthroughs. Well, the unfortunate truth is that it will be exclusive to Xbox and Windows. This is because Microsoft bought ZeniMax Media for $7.5 billion back in September 2020, which is the parent company of Bethesda. I do think that as we approach the release and more people find out about this, the uproar could potentially change Bethesda's mind, but you never know, of course. Another popular concern is, will we play as the Dragonborn in this game, or will there even be dragons at all? And the answer is unfortunately no. As I mentioned earlier, this will take place during the 4th era, which is post-Dragon Crisis. And as for playing as the Dragonborn, which I'm sure we're all very used to, Bethesda does not want to exhaust this and wants to create more variety across the Elder Scrolls series. This does not mean, however, that we won't come across any Dragonborns. There's definitely a lot to look forward to on behalf of Skyrim nostalgia. Unless you reside under some sort of rock, I'm sure you've noticed how often people talk about AI nowadays, either under the topic of art, music, or in this case, gaming. The world is moving forward very quickly, as it seems, and the community has been pondering what an ES game containing NPCs and AI-generated dialogue would be like. How interactive and immersive would that be? Everybody would have such a unique experience exclusive to them, depending on what direction they want to go while playing the game. On the flip side, others want a little bit more of a consistent playthrough with just enough diversity to keep it interesting. Now, if Bethesda really did this, they would certainly make the history books for being the first large-scale game to utilize such a fresh concept. But I can easily see it backfiring due to people just simply not being ready for it. Maybe easing in is the best option. I personally think that Elder Scrolls 7 might be a better opportunity for this to be explored, primarily because of the built-up expectations everyone has for Elder Scrolls 6. Achievement-wise, what do I expect from this game? I predict that it'll be even more popular than Skyrim, probably winning Game of the Year, if not every game award. Gaming is becoming gradually more stale as of late, and the build-up to this game, especially after the historic impact of Skyrim, is leading me to believe that this could be some sort of cultural reset with new standards, raising the bar for gaming companies forever. But until its release, all we can really do is relate to Todd Howard's quote when asked about the release date. I wish it was soon. Well, we've reached the end of the video. I really appreciate you watching the whole thing, and if you feel so inclined, like, subscribe, and let me know what you think about all this in the comments. I have a lot of really exciting stuff planned, so please stay tuned for the next videos, but until then, bye-bye.